Alright, hey guys, my name is RP and this will be my first video for YouTube, and I will be talking about an altcoin which I made some research on in these days. I'm trying nowadays to find some altcoins which are like undervalued at the moment or could be undervalued, so I'm basically searching for every kind of coin which do not have spikes. So if you look at the coin market cap graph of theirs, they are in either in a downward period, so bearish period, or in a price which is close to the starting price. So these are the two criteria of mine, and I made like a research and found like 70 or so coins which are having this attribute, and from these 70 coins I'm filtering them out one by one, doing kind of meticulous research over these kind of coins, and this is what I want to show you, because I have a feeling that most of the investors out there don't use this tactic. They don't research so much, and they usually just go with the crowd. And I think that the real money is not with the crowd. I think the real money is when you are anticipating where will the crowd go in the future, and we do that by kind of going off the beaten path and trying to find our own investments and our own judgments, and based on that we find good stuff. So hopefully you will learn something from this, and you will maybe get a good idea of this coin. I don't want to waste your time too much, but I want to talk about my method of analysis, because I think that the analysis is the most important. If you learn how to do this well, and if you can take away some stuff from this video, then you will be able to judge every coin better, and basically that will increase your profits immensely. um, when I got first into crypto, I thought that I will invest maybe like $10 or $400 into every coin, and probably it will be profitable even like that. But I realized that I don't have that much money, so I have to filter out what kind of coins do I invest in, and basically the return will be higher in my opinion when you invest in fewer coins which are well thought out and well researched, but you put in more money in those, so you basically know in which basket do you put your eggs in, and because of that, uh, those coins will have higher ROIs because you did your research, and your research will be more often right than not. And because there's more money inside, then obviously you will profit more because of that ROI increase. So that's what I think, at least. And let's look at this coin. So it's called Mysterium. The idea, what is the idea? Okay, so yeah, let's cut things short. Do you know about VPNs? The VPN is basically a service which is good for hiding IPs and stuff. So basically, if you want to browse anonymously, then you use a VPN, and basically it's very hard to recognize who is the actual user behind the VPN. There are many stuff out there, many services which are like that out there. So basically, you can rent out stuff like this in the centralized. So the companies, the VPN companies, have like servers outside, and you rent the server and you browse through the server, so they hide your browser activity. Now, what Mysterium wants to do is to put this on the blockchain, so that everything will be Ethereum powered. It's an Ethereum token, and basically they want to put this on chain, and this would be good. And I mean, the first time when I saw it, I thought like this is a very good idea. I want to investigate this more, because if this could work, it would, fill out a hole in the market. It could provide better stuff than the other services out there. So for instance, the traditional VPNs are not as anonymous as you would think, because they collect info, they collect contracts, they collect names, and they do sell out, and they do give out information to, for instance, FBI and like these big named government stuff. So if somebody from the FBI or NSA, or I don't know from where, asks for some kind of info, they do give it out. But if it would be on the blockchain, encrypted, then there would be no way to get it out, and because of that, it would be an extra level of anonymity. So that's what I thought at the beginning. By the way, I read this post, an article about this regarding VPNs, and even the VPNs which claim that they do not collect information, they still do. And basically, That's what I read, at least. And that kind of makes sense for me that every VPN company has to collect information. So because of that, this could be like a big hole. That's what I thought. So all right, I have high hopes. All right, so what do I do first? I check out the white paper. So let's go to the white paper. We go to the website. Obviously, the website is flash as fuck. So the website is like amazing. It's like beautiful. Like most of these websites are beautiful usually. So that makes sense. It's usually like that. And then what do I do? Click on the white paper and read the whole white paper from the beginning to the end, from the head to toe. And this is what I think most players don't do, and most people don't do. And this is what I think is a good idea to do, because this gives you a good outline of the whole idea. And it's like this is like a 30-page long paper. And I was like, okay, well, I can go over this, and I was actually glad to see this, that it was like so long, because I think that the seriousness of the white paper gives an idea of the seriousness of the project. Okay, so I did that. I read through all the motherfucking thing, and what did I see? If I do a find here, I think it was about the cash out. No, it was somewhere down here, which really baffled me. The withdrawal. So check this out. So look at this. Like this paragraph is the same as this paragraph, and there's no word about the withdrawal. And this did not get corrected, and this wasn't noticed by anybody else since now. What kind of market cap does this have? Like, at this moment, 35 million, and at the beginning it had an ICO. At the beginning they raised, I don't know how much was this, I don't know. Yeah, they raised $14 million in like 30 minutes. It sold out in 30 minutes, and they raised actually like 40 million. So this is what I'm talking about. Like, it is absolutely nuts what's going on. Like, they just jumped on it like crazy, and you didn't even have any time to buy. Sold out mega fast. And the fact that neither the writers, neither the investors had no idea about this section like being doubled means that they didn't really read it. And like somebody raising $60 million with people not reading their white paper is freaking nuts, in my opinion. So this is why I'm talking about this, because I think this is really important. And also, like, at this point I was like, everything is like composed in the white paper kind of okay, the grammar is kind of weird, but the concept is like written down well, and it's understandable, and it makes sense, and it makes sense for the application too. And so I liked it. At this point I was like, still okay, it looks really good, so maybe I will invest. And then I checked their Twitters. So I went to Mysterium Twitter to see how do they post, how frequently do they post, and stuff like that. And I saw that they post kind of frequently, and they seem kind of motivated. They do selfies and stuff, and it looks good. But then I noticed like they started the whole thing at 2010, and I was like, wait a minute, they started the whole thing in, I think, 3 years ago, or how much? No, it's actually brand new. So they started in June. So it's 2017 June they started. So how is this Twitter this long? And then I tried to scroll back down, and I realized that this Twitter was a personal Twitter at once, or a Twitter for another project, and they abandoned the other project, and they basically just changed the name of that Twitter to this one. And this is like already fishy. Like, why wouldn't you make another Twitter? But alright, whatever, we don't really care about it, I guess. And like, this is the beginning of it, and I saw this hashtag, the Trust Tribe hashtag. So this is like trusttribe.com kind of thing. So I was like, okay, let's look at what was their other project, Trust Tribe. And I find this thing in Crunchbase, which is like an investment kind of thing. They raised almost $100,000 in their first round of crowdfunding in 2013, and they disappeared. And then I was like, okay, this is the website, and I click on the website and I see this like Chinese, I think, website about, if I click translate, about hair removal soap. So this domain was obviously sold, and that's why we see this. But okay, so that project was abandoned. They don't speak about it, and it wasn't successful. Okay, so if I want to invest in the people of an ICO, I want to find people who are successful. I'm not saying that these people won't succeed because of that. They may succeed, of course they may succeed, but on the other hand, it's less likely, right? If there's a CEO and he succeeded with 4 other companies and this is his 5th one, I'm a lot more optimistic. But he didn't even succeed his first one, this guy, and because of that, I think that this is less likely. I'm not saying it won't succeed, but less likely. And then what is the first thing what I checked? The peer reviews, and then I try to find somebody who seems to have a clue and to see what does he have as an opinion. And I saw this guy. I think I wrote in Mysterium Reddit. I want to see the Reddit, what kind of activity is there. And the first post, my thoughts on Mysterium Network and how is it well, it's basically, I'm not really into routing, I'm not really into VPN, I'm too technical about this, but I read this whole thing, and this guy has seemingly had very, very valid points about this whole thing. And this was the point when I was like, I am not gonna invest in this, because it's just seemingly less good than a traditional VPN. And even the traditional VPNs are used, like, they have a field advantage. Like, if something will overtake traditional centralized company-based VPNs, it has to be a lot better than the other version, right? Like the old one. So the reformization of stuff comes when something a lot better comes along, like Bitcoin. Bitcoin is seemingly a lot better than cash. I mean, so far, who knows what happens with it, but so far it seems like it's same with a lot of cryptos, but with this one, not really. So this is what I mean. So I just think that this has to be said, that in general, it's a good idea to make your reading and invest into those ones which have some kind of, good reputation. What other things what I could have done is look at the CEOs, look at the other factors, like what kind of workers do they have and stuff like that, and what kind of plans do they have. Like, look, like they raised $40 million, sorry. That is a lot of money, and it's not an answer to everything. Look at Nokia. Nokia had a lot of money. They had people. Still, they fucked up. They went back to bankrupt now because they didn't use that money well, and they just threw money at problems, but they didn't really have the qualified and the best people who could like tackle those problems, and because of that, they couldn't really succeed in the smartphone business, and they went under. So, and that was like an experienced company with experienced leaders. These guys are just programmers usually, and they don't have experience with that big of a bankroll, that big of a money, that big of a fund available, and it's hard to spend it right. It's hard to not overspend. It's hard to not, do it wrong. It's hard to keep up the motivation. I don't know if you guys had some kind of like company-like enterprises, but I definitely have. And I know that it's hard to keep up with the whole motivation kind of things after year after year after year. It's possible, but you have to be like that kind of a person who can like pursue and have that vision strongly all the times, even when it's like harder. So this is what I think is another very, very important factor. What kind of CEOs are the CEOs? Because the people and the idea is, I think, the most important. Also the timing. Another thing regarding this. So I contacted them. I contacted the CEO. I contacted the people there, and I wrote about this post. Hey, could you guys tell me about this post? What do you think about this? Because they didn't reply. This post was done 3 months ago, and they did not reply a word. Just tell me about this post. What do you think about this? Because they didn't reply. This post was done 3 months ago, and they did not reply a word since then. And that is another bad thing. They don't communicate well. Of course, they post out these like hypey things like, oh, we do a team building, oh, we do this, like look at the workspace and stuff. But that's not the important thing. The important thing is how do you tackle the problems, and how do you communicate about the problems, and how do you solve the things which come up, because this is what will build like a big and strong cryptocurrency, or a big and strong project, or a big and strong company overall. And the communication should be done more about this and less about the like fancy stuff, I think. So because of that, yeah, so that's another bad point, and I wrote to them 2 days ago, and they didn't come back to me. And of course, they may be busy and stuff, but this post is here for 3 months, and in the comments, they are just basically going back and forth about this whole topic, but they don't actually. I mean, that no owner of the Mysterium Network, or no member of the Mysterium Network comes up and say like, hey, we acknowledge these problems and we're gonna work out something to make this work. No, nothing like that is happening, and this is the problem. This is another problem. So I wanted to talk about these kind of things, because I think that this. So basically, reading the white paper, looking up the people back on the other, another side of things. I usually Google negative things regarding topics, so I wrote in Mysterium scam, Mysterium VPN bad, stuff like this. So see the negative. When you get attached to a project, like for instance this time when I was looking at the white paper, it kind of felt bad to search for the negative things, because I was already like, okay, this is it, this is gonna work, I'm gonna invest, and then it's kind of hard to like pull back and not do it, because you are already invested. You put in a lot of effort, and then you want to do something with it, but sometimes not acting is the best act. So I think that this is kind of what I wanted to talk about. I hope it was useful and stuff. And yeah, so I would not recommend anyone investing into Mysterium until they don't tackle these problems, or they don't respond to these kind of problems. That's basically the main idea. So see you guys. I hope this was useful, and cheers.